No matter who you are, I feel like everybody has a critic in their head. Now, this critic lives rent-free in our heads, and it's something that at one point in time will always tell you, no matter what you're doing, if you're trying to do an action, make a decision, it'll always critique you and criticize you in ways that you wouldn't usually think. And it's something that when you try to do something, it comes up with ways to excuse it or criticize you or say, this is wrong, this is your fault, you are never going to achieve this, and everything off-putting and degrading about things that you try to do. Now, this isn't like specific to like certain individuals. I feel like everybody at one point in time has this critic in their head. I myself have this critic in my head, and it was very prevalent when I was younger, and kind of still is now. When I was younger, I would have never thought of going overseas. I hated the idea of just driving 4 hours to go and see a friend or going down to the South Island. That freaked me out, and there was that part in my head, that critic, that told me that I wouldn't be able to do this, things were going to go wrong, and I tried to ignore it and tried to get rid of it completely. That didn't work for me, because what I realized is that that is always going to be a part of me. There is always going to be a part of my head and a voice in my head living rent-free, telling me things are going to go wrong and that things are my fault. Now, something that I've discovered is that I can't stop it completely. I can't ignore it and push it to the dark corners of my head where it will forever remain silent. It is something that is there, and I acknowledge it, but I don't fixate on it. When I decided to go overseas, that part of my head kept on ringing, telling me all the things were going to go wrong and how if something bad happened, it was going to be my fault. I acknowledged that, and I took its words, and I just went with it. If something did go wrong, I accepted it. I didn't fixate on it. I didn't agonize over it. It was just acceptance. And this voice, for some people, it might sound like your own voice. For others, it might sound like people that you've met, people that you know, who at one point or another have criticized you, and their voice suddenly becomes the voice in your head. However, that's not the only voice that's in your head that you can listen to. You can listen to another. Now, the second voice can be a helpful voice, something to help you push forward through things that you're going through and to help you, again, not ignore, but accept and go through with the things that you were going to do whilst accepting the voice of criticism in your head. This second voice, this helpful, guiding voice, can be, again, your own voice, or it can be the voice of a grandparent, a friend, a close friend, one of your parents, a sibling. Somebody at one point in time has helped you immensely and not criticized, but just given you helpful advice to help you push forward and do the things you want to. Because it's not just saying words and letting it be. It's giving you the ability to recognize that and take steps forward. Because that's all it is. It's just a single step forward more and more, whilst not ignoring the criticism and the critical voice in your head, but just accepting it. With the critique in your head and the voice, you have to accept the fact that you don't need it. Again, like I said before, just because you don't need it doesn't mean you can't take what it says and use that as motivation to then push forward. You don't need to listen to the critique. You don't need to listen to the voice in your head, and most of the time that voice is your own. I will look at myself in the mirror and I will realize that it's not the people around me, it's the man I see in the mirror who is my own worst critic. A majority of the time, you are your own worst critic. And the quicker and easier you can accept that, the easier off you'll be, because you'll realize that all of that critique that you're suffering, all that anxiety and stress is up here, and that voice might be your own, it might be somebody else's, but it's just accepting the fact that you don't need to listen to it, but you can just accept it. And that's all it is. Acceptance of the critique, your own voice or somebody else's, and just going forward with it. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to kind of talk about. I hope that whoever's watching this took something out of it, and I will see you guys in the next one.